Hey, Josh and Mike here from Evermoore Films. We are here with our first installment of a video series on how to market your small business with video marketing.
Yeah, awesome.
It's going to be fun. Yeah. So today, our topic is talking about your ideal client versus everyone as a potential client.
Yeah, and just to kind of lay some groundwork, it's super informal. We're just going to be talking back and forth. No scripted process, just off the top of our minds.
Yeah.
So first of all, we're Evermoore Films, and a lot of people think we're just weddings. That's something to get out there. Do we just do weddings?
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
In fact, we do lots of videos that are not weddings. In fact, more than half of our work is not weddings.
Yep.
More than half. With as many weddings as we do, more than half of our work is not weddings.
You said do-do.
Do-do.
Yeah.
Like we said, we're just going to kind of have fun and hope that you guys have fun joining us on this little chat.
Yeah. So we do a lot of commercial business client work. Mm-hmm. And that's something that we really wanted to talk about because that's one of the things that we see a lot is a lot of businesses struggle, or a lot of businesses will come to us with a preconceived idea of what kind of video they want. And it's a big deal because most of the time our videos are for advertising, marketing purposes.
Right.
You know, people want to say, hey, this is my business. This is what I offer. I want to put it on Instagram, social media, YouTube, or something like that. And what they'll do is they'll come to us with their preconceived idea of, I saw this on YouTube, or I saw this about my favorite brand or my competitor, and I want to do that. And when we're talking about competitors, like competitor in the big leagues, like the highest echelon.
Yeah, we've had clients sit down with us and like show us a $1 million TV spot and be like, see, we like this, we want to do that. And I'm like, great. Do you have $1 million? No. Okay. Well, then what we need to do is think about what we can do with the budget you do have. So yes, our topic is who's your ideal client? Mm-hmm. You know, is that everybody or is there a target? But it always comes back to strategy, no matter what. Because if you are saying, hey, we saw a cool $1 million video, we want to make our own version. We have $1,000. We can go, cool. We can do something cool for $1,000.
Something like that.
But it might be the wrong way to spend that $1,000.
100%.
So, and that is where your audience comes into play, because we have to make sure that we're making the right video for the right people, so that those people will see it and that they will have the right response, and then the goal that you have gets accomplished. So you definitely have to think about your audience when you think about that. That whole cool video is a common thing that happens. Sometimes role play is fun.
Yeah.
You want to do a role play?
Yeah. Well, let me point this out real quick. Is that why do we even care? What's in it for us? They're going to pay us money. Why do you have to put your input? But the honest thing is that if we can produce a video that will convert, because if you're paying for videos for your business, they should be converting.
Absolutely.
And so if you're making a video that's not going to convert, in other words, you make this really cool video and it was just like, oh, cool, next, and you just swipe it on to the next one, it doesn't convert, you wasted your money. You know, we can take your money and run, or we can, bye. Or we can do, what we can do is we can try to figure out what's going to make a video that's going to convert into sales, so that even if it's, you end up paying for a lesser, the budget for the video is a little bit lower, you end up paying us a little bit less. But if we can make a video that converts, then that's a win-win-win. Your clients are happy because they buy from you and they got what they wanted. You're happy because you sold a product, and we're happy because you'll come back for the next set of videos, and the next, and the next, and the next. And your clients are buying, you're selling, and we're making videos for you. Everybody's happy. Win-win-win.
And what's our starting price point for a basic video?
Yeah, I mean, we could step into the studio and we could do a super simple video for, at the very least, $100. And they go up from there. $100.
Seriously, not like we're trying to sell right now, but
$100
just for $100.
You call right now.
1-800. But seriously, like, to make a video that's effective doesn't have to be an expensive video. There's definitely a misconception that, the more I spend on my video, the more effective it's going to be. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people are like, well, if I spend $1,000 versus if I spend $10,000 versus if I spend $100,000, like, obviously the more I spend, the better the video is going to be. And we even saw a video series, the Wistia series, the 110-100 series.
Production quality.
Where they this company hired a production company, said, we want to make 3 videos, one for $1,000, one for $10,000, and one for $100,000, all promoting the same product, and see which one does the best. And there's a whole series online you can watch. It's fun to check out.
Yep.
But it's like the $10,000 video, I think, was my favorite of that series. I mean, the $1,000 one was funny.
That was my favorite, the $1,000 video, and I don't want to get into the weeds, but the $1,000 was cool because you were forced to get creative, and they filmed it on an iPhone because it was $1,000. But they
filmed it on a phone. Their graphics were a piece of paper on a popsicle stick that
that's
slid in and slid out, and so it was like
funny.
It was just totally different. So all that to say, like, people think like video goes in this box of, well, it has to be cool, it has to be produced, it has to be corporate. Like as we sat down to record our first episode here, we're back and forth. Okay, do we bring out the big cameras, the big lights, the video switcher? We can have like 7 angles, and we can be like cutting in and doing all this cool stuff, or do we just set up a camera and hit go and start recording content?
And let's just do it.
Let's do it, because we've talked about this idea for probably 3 months, and finally we hit record. Because we, as content creators ourselves, we want to make sure everything we put out is just pristine. So Seth Godin says just ship it, and it minimum viable product, and that's something a lot of people don't think about with video. They think like, oh no, I have to make the perfect video, and you'll spend 7 hours making your Instagram post, like, oh, let me tweak this, and oh, let me add this sticker, and ooh, if I put this hashtag, it's just like, you have to think about what's important. And I know we've kind of went all the way around the field around our topic.
So now we can make our way back.
Ideal client versus everyone being your client.
Yep.
But all of this plays in, and if you can't tell, this is something that we are passionate about. So we can go on and on, and we will right now.
I think that's the reason why we're releasing these episodes. Is because we want people to know before you step through the door and start working with us. It's like we want to make videos that convert. If we can make videos that convert into sales, we're successful, you're successful, clients are happy. That's all. And that's a win-win-win again. And so yes, of course we could take the money and run, but we don't want to do that. So the whole,
I mean, if you really just want to call us and say, take my money and make my video, we'll do it.
Yeah. I'm saying that, but it's like, we'll take your money.
We ain't stupid.
We'll take your money.
But we also want to help you because Mike and I have both been making videos for a long time, and we've seen countless videos that we've created that the company uploads to YouTube, and it sits there, and it generates 30 views.
Does absolutely
and after
nothing.
A year, they're like, we got no views on this video. This video did nothing.
And we get no callbacks. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
We don't have a return client because they don't have return clients.
And it doesn't matter. We've had clients spend good money on videos, and the same thing happens. It has nothing to do with the budget, has nothing to do with the production value. Those things do factor in at some level, obviously. There's a reason why you spend more and spend less, and there's a place for that in your overall video strategy. But a lot of times you got to put out a higher quantity of content, and not every piece of content you put out needs to be, putting your best face forward, which again takes us back to our target market.
And so the whole reason why we do all that is because it's all marketing. It's all marketing. So the majority of the videos that we're doing, it's marketing. It's trying to get to somebody. And you can't market if you say the whole world is my client, right?
But I want to reach everybody, Mike.
Yeah, well, and not everybody wants what you have, right? And
you're being exclusive.
Yes, absolutely. That's absolutely what we have to be, because if you make toothpaste, you're not going to be selling it for dogs. If you make dog food, you're not selling it for humans. If you make, an exercise ball that I'm looking at in the office, you're not selling it for babies. It's marketed.
But Mike, I'm afraid that if I try to target this exercise ball to women between 25 and 30, that a guy who's a teenager who wants an exercise ball is not going to want to buy mine. And so he's going to go buy my competitor's marketing, exercise ball, because I didn't market to him.
Right. And don't worry about that. We want to get it to who is the ideal client. Because if we get it to the ideal client, that's who we're going to market to. Everybody else will find it. If that guy wants to buy a ball, he's going to say, I'm looking for an exercise ball. And that'll already be in your search terms and all that good stuff. But for everybody else that's kind of looking in general terms, I want to get fit, whatever, they're going to fall into your ideal client. So, we've looked at the different strategies and talking about making a template person. Oh, my template client is a woman, housewife, 25 years to 35 years. We'll call her Susan, and she likes to go to certain places on the weekends. And
well, because you have to create that client avatar.
Yep.
Because if you say, who are you trying to reach? Everyone. Well, you can't.
Yeah.
Does everyone like country music? Mm-mm. Does everyone like rap music?
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah.
And so if you're targeting people with a product, and those people who you're targeting like country music, if you put rap music on your video, they're not going to be attracted.
Right.
And vice versa, if you put country music on the video targeting your hip hop crowd, they're not going to be digging that video.
And here's the other thing. You'll waste a whole lot of money advertising to people who don't want what you got. They don't care.
And if you're so vanilla, because that's usually what happens, is companies go, well, I want to target everybody, and so I'm going to be super vanilla in my entire marketing thing. And so you water down your personality and everything about your brand so that you can appeal to everyone and that you offend no one and that you make it appealing to everyone. But what happens is then no one's interested.
No one's
because no one wants a piece of chicken with no seasoning on it.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. But yeah, it's like they say, the jack of all trades, master of none. But in the sense of if you have a certain product that fits a certain niche or niche, whatever you want to call it, then you can highlight those certain things in your marketing, whether it's through copy, words, pictures, video, anything. You're going to say that my product is the best because of this. I know you face this problem, and this is. And if you're not in that niche, then you don't face that problem. It's not a problem anybody even cares about. So.
And to jump on that, there's this fear of like, well, if I narrow down my marketing too much, I'm missing out. Like there's this whole big pie, and you're asking me to narrow it way down to 2% of the pie. Well, I'm missing 98% of the pie. Well, there can be multiple slices.
Yeah.
You can have different customer segments. Depending on what your product is. Say it's a restaurant. Well, you can't. Well, everybody eats food. We got to market to everybody.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's narrow that down. So yes, let's market to everybody in 10 different campaigns, and each campaign is focused on a specific segment. So we're going to do, families with young kids. Is that part of it? Okay, great. Now let's do, single people looking for a date spot. Now let's do older people looking for a nice upscale place to just relax. Now let's do whatever all these different segments are.
And that's perfect. And I want to add in something else.
Yeah.
But you'll notice that there's still Chinese food, Mexican food, American food, buffet, Italian food. So just what he said right there, there's millions of slices of the pie, but still it always comes down to one piece. So you could, like he said, even in that niche, there's different segments that you can hit. You see what I'm saying? But nobody ever, because when was the last time you passed a restaurant that just said restaurant? And we have food. Yeah, we have food, and it's everything.
Right.
It's like unless that's like your world buffet at a casino or something like that. Other than that, it's like everything else it's niched down. Mexican food, Asian food, so on and so forth. Pizza.
It's because you have to think like a customer. It's easy to think, well, I'm a business. I want to be efficient in my marketing, so I'm going to come up with the one thing that I can say to everyone for all time that will forever be my business. I'm going to make one video ever, and it's going to just be everything. It's just like, no, it doesn't work. Marketing works by repetition. Marketing works by using different methods. So it's like, great, let's do a billboard and a radio spot and a TV spot and a social media ad and then a YouTube channel. It's like there's all these ways of marketing. You can send out little print ads in the is that newspapers? Is that what they call
flyers
those?
And yeah.
Flyers, yeah.
Our screen just went dead.
There we go. That's exciting. Well, that background's interesting. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get up and I'm going to reactivate that real fast. Because that's way more exciting.
Recording?
What's up?
Are you still recording?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay.
We're recording here.
Yeah, just making sure.
Okay. That's good. We'll just leave this whole thing in there. Because that's...
because that's how you do it.
That's entertainment right there. I'm going to bring my mouse over with me. That way this doesn't happen again, and I don't have to get all the way up out of my chair.
Yeah,
that would be exercise.
And the thing is that I commonly hear is a lot of people will compare themselves to, like we said in the beginning, these million or billion-dollar companies. Like Nike's a billion-dollar company, and there will be people who want to do clothing and then want to do something like Nike, and Nike makes shoes and clothing, apparel. And it's like, that is a cool spot that we see. That video is very cool, but Nike is spending millions, like hundreds of millions of dollars on advertising and marketing and everything, all over the internet, all over TV, all over radio, all over sports ads and billboards. And so it's like, they're not just using that one video. They're using it, whereas small businesses are, we're going one avenue, maybe two or three, but they're hitting hundreds and even thousands of avenues to put out their stuff. So it's like, you have to think, if you want to emulate them, you have to emulate them on a very smaller scale. You want to do something like them? Sure. Then make sure you're hitting every avenue that you can. But they're very niche down. They started niching. They started very, very niche down, and now they've opened up a little bit. They're still very niche down. Sports.
But even Nike as an example, if you look at what they're doing in their marketing, it's not just one channel. It's not, well, we only do billboards, we only do videos, we only do this, we only do that. But they have men's shoes, they have women's shoes, they have kids' shoes, they have adult shoes, and they market all of those differently. And so if you look at their marketing, you see, now we're targeting, guys who like to run. Now we're targeting, women playing tennis. Now we're targeting whatever, kids, having fun. There's all these different slices that they're targeting. They're still not trying to make one video that gets everybody.
Right.
And if you look at a company like Nike, you can go to places like the Facebook ad library, and you can see the amount of content they're putting out.
Well, a lot.
It's like, oh, they ran 10 different ads today on Facebook.
Today.
So you can see that even they are doing that. They are looking at their audiences. So it's like, yes, you can learn from these big companies, but you don't have their budget as a small business.
Right.
I mean, the budget they spend to create one ad is probably a lot of small businesses' annual marketing budget.
Probably more.
I'm talking about a simple ad.
I'm telling you, man, it's amazing because they understand what it means to market and how important marketing is, and we're talking about a household name, a household brand.
Yeah.
So and who else markets like that like crazy? McDonald's. And we don't even have to go there. We all know McDonald's.
And when's the last time you actually ate something from McDonald's?
Right. As an adult.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
If you got kids, it's another story, but still, questionable health. Next topic.
Moving on. So.
But they are a staple in the business community. I mean, who is better at anything right now than McDonald's? Except for Amazon. But the whole thing is that advertising is key, super key, and so...
And you have to know that audience, because you don't make these videos in a vacuum. You don't make these, whether it's marketing videos or whether you're making a postcard, like, it doesn't matter. We're talking marketing videos because that's, our focus is to make, marketing videos. But there's a million ways to make a marketing video, and there's a million ways to use it. There's a million places to put it, and there's a million people you can make it for. So you have to narrow all of that down, which is our entire point, is you have to narrow down your focus. So you have to know, who are we creating this for? So, for example, as we were brainstorming this show, we had to think about, who is this show for?
Right.
Is this show for who? Is this show for big businesses because we're trying to get in front of them? No. Big businesses are not. Nike is not watching.
Call us.
Yeah, call us, Nike. If you need a video, let us. No, Nike's not watching our show.
Like, for real, Nike. If you actually, I'm just kidding.
But who's watching this show? Small businesses. And when we say small business, what are do you remember our
yeah,
points?
I mean, we're talking about people who are something like us, where you're running 2, 3, 4 employees, all the way up to 20, maybe even 30. But the definition of small business can run the gamut, and you're talking about 100+ employees,
right?
Talking about millions of dollars in revenue.
and the key with when we're talking about employee number, really what we're saying is this content is designed for companies who do not have a marketing agency who they're working with. Right. Companies who don't have, right. A marketing department, people who are running all of that content for them. Yep. We're targeting companies who, you might have 150 people on your team, but if none of them are in marketing, then you still need our help. And we've worked with companies like that. Yeah. Larger companies, but still they have that. Or maybe they have one marketing person, and that person's job is everything marketing, and they're really more of a coordinator because they're not going to go out and create video content. They're not going to write the script. They're going to come to someone like us and say, here's what we need done, make magic happen for us. And we can do that too. But a lot of times we're working with smaller local businesses, sometimes even solopreneurs who are, making maybe a retail product. Maybe they're selling, some sort of retail product like Heidi Socks has been one of our clients. Yep. And you guys have probably seen their stuff. They make a great innovative sock. It's a nice style piece. And so we've worked with companies like Heidi Socks to create content that is helpful for them. Yep. And
help prepare their business, help them grow.
Right. And it's like, and as you enter a conversation with someone, it's always, well, what are we trying to accomplish? What are the goals? Who's your target market? Because if we don't have the answers to those questions, we make content that languishes. And then you're wasting your money. And you have to think about, too, it's like, where does this content fit in the funnel as we're targeting somebody? Maybe we have it dialed down. We're targeting, moms in their 30s who, love fitness. And so we're like, cool, we have a pretty good, profile for this girl, and we know this is who we're targeting, but, well, where's she at? Because this is part of audience. Mm-hmm. Where are they at? Is she on Instagram? Mm-hmm. Is she on Facebook? Mm-hmm. Is she on Snapchat? Is she on, what was that one back in the day that was cool? MySpace. Is she on MySpace? Like where are they at?
No one's on MySpace anymore.
And we laugh. We bring up MySpace and we laugh. But
it was the thing.
But to some people, Facebook is MySpace. Facebook.
For
Facebook.
Sure.
Who's on Facebook? So if you're running Facebook ads targeting teenagers, you're probably not going to get anywhere.
Right.
If you want to target the grandmas, then you can.
Right. More niche down.
So it's like you have to know who you're targeting, where are they, and what do we want them to do?
Yep.
And is the purpose of this just to make them stop and pay attention? Are we just raising awareness? Are we trying to convert them to a sale? Is this remarketing? Is this someone who's already been in contact with our product and our company, and we're just saying, let's keep you moving down the funnel? So there's so much strategy that goes into all of this.
So what can we do? What actionable steps can they take to kind of find their target market or target audience? And I'll start with one of the things that we can do is start to ask these questions. Well, what does my product or service solve? What does it help? And if you've been in business any length of time, who's the one who keeps coming back to pick up your product or service?
Yeah.
Right? And if it's a product that somebody needs only once, then, what kind of person is that person who's coming in the door to buy your product? And that's going to help you really narrow that down. So you have some questions that you need to ask yourself and answer, and probably write them down, because that's then going to help you going forward to grow your business, whether it's starting or it's just kind of stagnant and it's good, but you want better. Then those are some of the things I would say. You have any other?
Yeah. Writing a customer avatar. It is very helpful.
We talked about it.
And it's one of those things that sounds silly to come up with a made-up person and market to that made-up person, but it's like that person represents your target market. Yes. And it may be that you have 2 or 3 different made-up people. You have 2 or 3 different avatars of people that you're focusing on, but that, well, our brand needs to reach all of those people. So is what we're coming up with, does it connect with all those people? Or do we need to create specific campaigns for each of these people? Mm-hmm. So that it would just help guide you in your marketing. So having a customer avatar is great. Another thing, just a quick plug, we do have a free strategy guide, PDF, that you guys can download. It's got a dozen questions or so, stepping through some of these steps of strategy. First section is on your audience. So definitely something that would be helpful. It's free on our website. We'll make sure the link's available. You guys can just download that and use that as a starting point to start asking yourself some questions. Who's your market? Where are they at, et cetera, et cetera. So
it's like that old saying that goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And some of us just start a business and wing it, and it's just like, hey, whoever wants to buy what I have, and that's okay when you first start out, but then you need to get in there with a plan, and then just with a plan of attack, and then attack it. So this way you don't stagnate, because then what can happen is this, you start it, and then you ran through all those people, and now, or just continue to repeat business from the regulars, but you want to do better. So it means you need new clients. And so plan and strategy it's such a big deal. That's something that we've come to learn in all that we've been doing and researching and all that stuff, and just things to make this business grow. It's like, okay, yeah, and we're as we're learning, and as we've learned, it's like, okay, we really need to hit this hard. And we also want to share it with people so that, again, as they come in to make videos, they're making videos that convert, and then they come back and they're happy with us, and they are happy with their clients, and on and so on and so forth.
That's great. So what you're saying is if people want to actually scale their business and not just maintain, then they need to do some marketing, and it needs to be targeted. That's a good spot to end on. So thank you for joining us on our first episode of Josh and Mike's video marketing show that we'll come up with a cool title for later. First episode talking about ideal clients, having a target market versus saying everybody is your market. So definitely want to hone down on who your audience is. So there it is. We'll see you later. So we just talked for 26 minutes.
26 minutes.
26 minutes. I hope it all makes the cut, I mean, we did have that moment where the screen blanked out, so we might cut that. I don't know how long that was. We might just leave it in there, too.
Maybe.
It might, we'll see how entertaining it can be.
I think it's engaging content, so. But just like we said in the show, you just got to put it out. You just got to do something.
Just ship it.
And just ship it.